Have you ever felt that deep, unexplainable pull towards someone, a connection that seems to transcend time, space, and logic? It's like the universe is conspiring to bring two souls together. But how do you know when that pull is truly meant to be, when it's not just coincidence or fleeting emotion? The truth is, the universe speaks to us in subtle ways, guiding us toward the people we are meant to be with. These signs aren't always dramatic or flashy. They often show up quietly in moments of calm, growth, and synchronicity. What if I told you that the universe has been speaking to you all along, through gentle nudges and whispers? Maybe you've noticed it in the way your conversations flow effortlessly, or how being around that person feels like coming home. These moments, these subtle signals, are more than just chance. They are the universe's way of telling you that this connection matters. It's not just about finding someone who fits into your life. It's about finding someone who helps you grow, who challenges you, and who makes you feel safe enough to truly be yourself. In the next few moments, let's explore the 10 signs that the universe may be guiding you towards someone truly special. These signs are not about finding perfection, but about finding alignment, understanding, and a shared journey. So, take a moment to reflect. Could the universe already be showing you the way? When the universe wants you to be with someone, one of the first and most profound signs is the deep sense of calm you feel around them. It's not the kind of excitement that leaves you restless or anxious, but a grounding, quiet peace that settles into your body without needing permission. There's no urgency to impress, no fear of judgment hovering over your interactions. Instead, you find yourself breathing deeper, smiling easier, and speaking more honestly than you thought you could. It's almost like your entire system exhales, recognizing a kindred spirit long before your mind can catch up. This sense of calm is different from the comfort that comes from familiarity or habit. It's not born from knowing someone for years or being stuck in routines. It arrives even when the connection is new, surprising you with its depth and authenticity. You sit with them, and time doesn't feel like it's racing or dragging. It simply is. There's no performative version of you scrambling for acceptance. You feel like you can show up with your whole, imperfect self, your laughter, your doubts, your messy stories, and be received with warmth instead of critique. This deep calm often acts as a mirror. When you are with someone and feel peaceful, it's usually because they reflect back to you the parts of yourself that you are learning to honor. You recognize your own capacity for compassion, patience, and joy in how they treat you. In a world that often demands constant motion and noise, finding someone who makes stillness feel safe is a rare and powerful thing. It's not just emotional either. Your body knows it too. Your shoulders drop. Your heart rate steadies. You no longer feel like you are walking on a tightrope, fearing one misstep could send everything crashing down. Many people confuse intensity for connection. The relationship that the universe nudges you toward won't always be intense in the way movies or songs often describe. It won't be chaos dressed as passion. Instead, it will feel like stability without boredom, excitement without anxiety. You won't need to chase after affection or guess where you stand. Their presence alone will be enough to soothe the parts of you that have been fighting for too long to be seen and understood. This peace also encourages growth. It's not a stagnant calm where nothing happens. It's an environment where you feel safe enough to stretch, to risk vulnerability, to imagine bigger dreams because you know you're not alone. Safety becomes the foundation for transformation. In the presence of the right person, challenges still exist, disagreements still arise, but even conflict feels different. It feels solvable, not catastrophic. It feels like two people standing side by side facing a problem together, not opponents on opposite sides of a battlefield. Ultimately, this sense of calm isn't just about them. It's about the space they help you create within yourself. It's about building a life where you don't have to brace yourself for love, where connection doesn't come with conditions or terms. It's where love feels like a place to rest and be restored, not a place to perform or prove. When the universe sends you someone like that, you don't need signs written across the sky. Your heart, your mind, and your body already know. You ever notice how sometimes life feels like it's pulling you in a direction without you even realizing it? Repeated coincidences and synchronicities are one of those quiet, powerful ways the universe tries to get your attention. When it comes to love, these little moments often show up like tiny breadcrumbs, inviting you to follow them, nudging you gently towards someone who could be deeply significant in your life. It could be bumping into the same person multiple times in unexpected places, or maybe hearing their name pop up randomly in conversations with different people. Maybe you're scrolling through a playlist and a song that reminds you of them starts playing, even though you weren't thinking about them a moment before. These events might seem trivial if you look at them individually, but when they start happening over and over, it's worth paying attention. At first, it's easy to brush off these encounters as chance. We live busy lives full of randomness, but when the same person or the same connection keeps reappearing in your world in different ways, it often signals that something more is happening beneath the surface. It's not about forcing meaning onto every small thing, but rather noticing when patterns start to emerge without you trying to control them. These repeated experiences invite you to stay curious rather than dismissive. They suggest that maybe this person isn't just another passerby. Maybe their presence is part of a bigger story that's waiting to unfold. Synchronicities are powerful because they bypass our rational mind. They speak directly to our intuition, our deeper knowing. When the universe wants you to be with someone, it often orchestrates events that open doors you hadn't even realized were there. It puts you in the right place at the right time. It brings you back into each other's orbit when, logically, it wouldn't seem to make sense. Maybe you both happen to choose the same random coffee shop across town on the same day, at the same time, even though neither of you had planned it. Or you randomly reconnect after years apart, through the most unlikely of circumstances. What's important is not just that these moments happen, but how they make you feel. When you experience a synchronicity that connects you to someone, it often stirs something inside, a sense of wonder, a pause, a quiet voice inside whispering, "Pay attention to this." That feeling isn't there to be ignored. It's there to guide you. It's an invitation, not a guarantee. It doesn't force you into a relationship. It simply offers you a doorway. Whether you choose to walk through it is up to you. Learning to recognize and honor these repeated coincidences requires slowing down and being present. It asks you to trust the timing, to listen to your instincts, and to remain open to possibilities even when they don't fit into your plans. These small, serendipitous moments are the universe's way of saying, "There's something here, look closer, feel deeper, be brave enough to see what could happen if you do." When we talk about relationships that feel aligned with a deeper purpose, one of the most powerful signs is mutual growth. It's easy to think that a relationship should feel effortless all the time, but true connection often invites, even demands our evolution. Mutual growth means that both people are becoming better, more authentic versions of themselves simply by being in each other's presence. It's not about forcing change or fixing each other. It's not about one person leading while the other follows. It's about standing side by side, each learning, expanding, and finding new dimensions of who they are. In a relationship rooted in mutual growth, you notice that encouragement flows naturally. You're excited to see the other person succeed. Their dreams don't threaten you, they inspire you. You both challenge each other in ways that feel supportive, not competitive. Growth becomes a shared experience, not a silent tug of war where one person outgrows the other. There's a spirit of curiosity about life, about each other, about the future you're building together. Conversations aren't just about day-to-day logistics. They also reach into dreams, fears, purpose, and meaning. You find yourself thinking more deeply, stretching beyond old limitations, simply because you're in connection with them. Mutual growth also shows up in how challenges are faced. In relationships where the universe is nudging you toward each other, difficulties aren't a reason to retreat or blame. Instead, they become opportunities to understand, to empathize, and to adjust. Disagreements don't become battles to win. They become pathways to greater understanding. You both stay in the hard conversations because you value the relationship more than your individual egos. You recognize that discomfort is part of growing, and you face it together rather than running from it. One of the most beautiful aspects of mutual growth is that it honors individuality. You don't have to become clones of each other. Your differences are seen as strengths rather than threats. You hold space for each other's evolving needs, dreams, and identities. And perhaps most importantly, you each feel safe enough to take risks, to try new things, to admit when you're wrong. There's a generosity of spirit, a deep knowing that your success is not separate from the other's success. You want to see each other shine, not because it reflects well on you, but because their joy genuinely adds to yours. There's also a quiet accountability that arises in these relationships. Not a harsh judgment, but a loving mirror held up to you. They see the best in you, and in doing so, they invite you to rise to that best self. And you do the same for them. It becomes less about staying comfortable and more about staying real. You find that you're becoming more courageous, more compassionate, more resilient, because true love, doesn't leave you where it found you. It lifts you, expands you, and reminds you that growth is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced when the right person is standing with you. Clear communication without fear is one of the most profound and overlooked signs that the universe wants you to be with someone. It's not just about having long, deep conversations or sharing a common language. It's about the feeling that washes over you when you realize you can speak without holding your breath. You don't have to rehearse your sentences in your head. You don't have to wear a mask. With them, words don't feel like potential weapons. They feel like bridges being built with every honest sentence you share. In relationships where fear lingers, communication is often guarded. We speak in half-truths. We soften the parts of ourselves that feel too rough or too intense, hoping we won't scare the other person away. But when the universe wants you to be with someone, you'll notice a different rhythm to your conversations. You'll say the things you usually hide. You'll laugh about the things that usually embarrass you. You'll bring up doubts, insecurities, dreams, and instead of feeling judged or dismissed, you'll feel heard. This kind of communication is rooted in mutual respect. It doesn't mean you always agree. In fact, you'll likely disagree sometimes, but disagreements don't spiral into shame or disconnection. There's room for two truths to exist. There's patience, there's curiosity. You feel safe enough to explain, "This is how I see it," without the looming fear of retaliation or abandonment. That safety allows both people to stay grounded in who they are rather than shrinking or puffing up to protect themselves. Vulnerability is the currency of real connection, and communication without fear makes vulnerability possible. When you can talk about your fears of failure, your messy family, your unfinished dreams, or even your mistakes, and the other person meets you with empathy instead of distance, something remarkable happens. You start to realize that love doesn't have to be a performance. It doesn't have to be exhausting. It can be a sanctuary. Clear communication also means that needs and boundaries are not treated as inconveniences. You're not forced to guess how the other person feels, and you're not punished for expressing your own feelings. Silence isn't used as a weapon. Words aren't twisted. You don't have to keep explaining yourself, hoping to be understood. In this kind of connection, there's an ongoing invitation to be real messy, complicated, brilliant, scared, hopeful, and to trust that the relationship can hold it. When the universe brings the right person into your life, conversations might feel almost surprisingly easy. It doesn't mean you'll never have tough talks or moments of tension. It simply means you'll have a foundation strong enough to weather those storms. You won't have to walk on eggshells. You won't have to translate yourself into something more palatable. And you'll notice that you're not the only one doing the work they show up fully to. Ultimately, clear communication without fear doesn't eliminate all misunderstandings. It creates a space where misunderstandings are opportunities for growth rather than threats to the relationship. It's a sign that you're not just building a connection, you're building a partnership grounded in truth, trust, and the kind of love that doesn't require you to lose yourself to keep it. A quiet inner knowing is one of the most powerful signs that the universe is guiding you towards someone. It's different from the rush of early excitement or the anxiety that often accompanies infatuation. This feeling isn't loud or chaotic. It's gentle, steady, and consistent. It's the quiet voice inside that says, "This connection matters." It's not based on logic or a checklist of reasons why this person should fit into your life. It's rooted in something deeper, a sense of alignment that doesn't need to be justified. When you experience this kind of inner knowing, it doesn't feel like a question that needs answering. It feels like a truth that's already settled in your body. You notice it in the way your heart feels when you think about them. There's no battle between your head and your heart. Instead, there's a surprising sense of ease. Even if the circumstances around you are complicated, the connection itself feels strangely simple and clear. This intuitive sense often shows up early, sometimes even before you fully understand it. Maybe you meet them and there's an immediate recognition, a sense that you've known them longer than you actually have. Or maybe their presence feels strangely familiar, like you're picking up a conversation that started lifetimes ago. It's not about losing yourself in fantasy. It's about being deeply present and noticing that something inside you is nodding in agreement when you're with them. The challenge is that in a world that glorifies certainty and visible proof, trusting your intuition can feel risky. We're taught to seek facts, reasons, evidence, but the universe often works differently. Inner knowing isn't about certainty in the external world. It's about certainty within yourself. It's a soft assurance that says, "You are safe here," even if you can't yet see the full picture. Another important part of this inner knowing is that it's patient. It doesn't push you into rushing or forcing the relationship to move faster than it should. Instead, it allows you to take your time to explore, to question, and to grow without fear that the connection will disappear if you're not perfect. It gives you the space to be real, to express your true feelings, and to navigate uncertainty with an open heart. Often, this kind of knowing shows up when you least expect it. Maybe after you've spent time healing yourself, after you've stopped searching so hard for someone to complete you. It arrives when you're already standing strong on your own, which is why it feels different from the desperate clinging that can come from loneliness. It doesn't arise from need, it arises from truth. This feeling doesn't guarantee that the path will be easy. Relationships, even the ones meant for us, still require work, commitment, and vulnerability. But when that quiet voice speaks, it offers a foundation of trust you can build on. It reminds you that not everything precious comes with flashing lights and loud announcements. Sometimes, the most profound guidance we'll ever receive comes as a whisper inside our own hearts, asking us to trust what we already know, but might be too afraid to believe. When the universe wants you to be with someone, one of the most beautiful signs is how life starts to feel lighter. It's not that hardships or challenges suddenly disappear, they don't. Life will always bring its fair share of struggles. But when you are with the right person, the burdens don't feel as heavy. There's a shift that happens deep within you, almost like a softening around the edges of life's tougher moments. What once felt overwhelming now feels manageable because you are no longer carrying everything alone. The presence of the right person acts like a balm for the spirit. Their words, their energy, their very existence in your life becomes a source of resilience. You find yourself laughing more, even in the middle of uncertainty. You find moments of joy tucked into places where you used to only see stress or fear. This lightness doesn't mean the relationship is effortless or perfect. It means that even when you both face difficulties, there's a shared understanding that you're on the same team. Instead of facing the storms alone, you have someone holding the umbrella with you. It's not about who's stronger or who's fixing what. It's about the shared emotional labor, the shared dreams, the shared resilience. Life becomes lighter because love at its best is a partnership, not a competition. It's walking through fire with someone who refuses to let go of your hand, even when the flames rise. Another way this lightness shows up is in the simple moments. Grocery shopping becomes fun. Running errands doesn't feel like a chore. Sitting quietly in the same room, doing nothing at all, feels like an experience you treasure. You don't feel the pressure to constantly perform, impress, or entertain. Just being in each other's presence brings a sense of ease and contentment. You start noticing the small, magical details of life because you have someone to share them with. A funny sign on the street, a new song you discovered, the way the light filters through the trees on a morning walk. There's also a shift internally. You're not constantly second-guessing yourself, walking on eggshells, or overanalyzing every text message and conversation. Anxiety starts to loosen its grip. You can be honest about what you feel, what you need, what you fear. You are more forgiving with yourself because someone else shows you daily that you are already enough. That safety becomes a catalyst for growth, for bravery, for dreaming bigger. Life feels lighter because you are carrying your dreams and your challenges in hands that are steadier, stronger, and steadied even more by the trust you share. Sometimes we underestimate the value of feeling light. We convince ourselves that love must be hard to be real, that suffering is the price we pay for passion. But the universe, in its quiet wisdom, often tells a different story. It shows us that when we are truly where we are meant to be, the weight of the world doesn't crush us. It invites us to rise. It invites us to laugh. It invites us to breathe again. When we talk about real connections, we often imagine shared hobbies, easy conversations, or physical attraction. But if we look deeper, one of the most profound signs that the universe wants you to be with someone is the natural alignment of your values and vision. It's not just about liking the same music or wanting the same number of kids. It's about the foundational beliefs you both hold about life, love, and what truly matters. Values are the guiding principles that shape our decisions, our dreams, and even the way we love. They are often invisible, but they drive everything. When two people's values align, there is an effortless understanding between them. You don't have to constantly explain why you care so deeply about honesty or why loyalty means more than convenience. It's felt, recognized, and respected without needing constant negotiation. You begin to realize that with this person, you're not walking two separate paths that occasionally cross. You're building something together in the same direction, rooted in the same soil. Vision is about where you're going. It's the life you imagine creating, the contribution you want to make to the world, the legacy you dream of leaving behind. When your vision aligns with someone else's, the future feels exciting rather than threatening. There's no pressure to change who you are or to shrink your dreams to make the relationship work. Instead, both people see each other's aspirations not as distractions or threats, but as parts of a shared mission. You can sit together late into the night, dreaming not just about a wedding or a vacation, but about the lives you hope to build, full of meaning, full of intention, full of service. When the universe is pointing you towards someone, it often does so by bringing you into contact with a person whose inner compass is set toward the same true north as yours. Of course, you will still have your differences. Alignment doesn't mean you are copies of each other. It means that even when you disagree, you are anchored by a mutual respect for the values that matter most. You may have different interests, different personalities, even different ways of expressing yourselves. But when it comes to the big things, integrity, family, compassion, freedom, purpose, you move as a team. In real life, this kind of alignment shows up in 100 small ways. It's in the way you both prioritize time with loved ones. It's in the way you both believe that forgiveness matters more than winning an argument. It's in the way you both see work not just as a paycheck, but as a way to make a difference. It's not about forcing agreement on every detail. It's about feeling over and over again that you are rowing in the same direction, even when the waters get rough. When two people share aligned values and vision, love becomes less about possession and more about partnership. It becomes less about control and more about collaboration. It becomes a space where both individuals can grow without fear, because the foundation is strong enough to hold the weight of two real, imperfect, courageous human beings trying to build something beautiful together. Emotional safety is the quiet foundation of any meaningful connection. It's the invisible thread that holds two people together through uncertainty, change, and even conflict. When the universe wants you to be with someone, it ensures that this sense of safety exists between you without you having to constantly chase it or second-guess yourself. Emotional safety is not about perfection. It's about trust. It's about knowing, deep down, that you are allowed to be fully human, complicated, vulnerable, and ever-evolving, and still be embraced instead of judged. In a truly safe relationship, you don't feel like you have to wear a mask. You don't have to perform, impress, or edit yourself to be loved. There's a quiet confidence that your emotions, even the uncomfortable ones, are not a burden. You can share your fears, your dreams, your moments of weakness, and you are met with listening rather than fixing, understanding rather than dismissal. In a world where we are so often taught to hide our real feelings, being with someone who allows you to be honest without consequence is a sign that something bigger is at play. When emotional safety is present, disagreements don't turn into threats. Conflict doesn't feel like a cliff you might fall off. Instead, disagreements become opportunities for deeper understanding. You can say, "I'm hurt," without fear that you'll be abandoned or attacked. You can admit, "I don't have it all figured out," and know that it won't be used against you later. Emotional safety transforms conversations from battles into bridges. Another part of emotional safety is the freedom to take up space. It's the feeling that your presence is not just tolerated, but valued. You're not too much. Your intensity, your depth, your quirks, they are not liabilities, but assets in the relationship. With the right person, you don't have to shrink to fit into their life. You get to expand. You get to discover new layers of yourself because the environment between you invites growth instead of fear. There's also a sense of consistency that comes with emotional safety. You're not constantly questioning where you stand. You're not analyzing every text or conversation for hidden meanings. There's a steady, predictable warmth that builds trust over time. Even when life gets chaotic, the connection feels like a steady hand you can hold onto. It's not about constant agreement or endless happiness. It's about knowing that when hard moments come, the relationship can hold them. Finally, emotional safety encourages you to dream bigger, not smaller. You find yourself wanting to take risks, pursue passions, and become more of who you are because you have someone who believes in you. Someone who doesn't just love the polished version of you, but the real, messy, unfinished story of who you are becoming. In a world full of conditional acceptance, emotional safety is rare, precious, and unmistakable when it's there. When you experience it, it's the universe's gentle confirmation that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Timing is one of the most mysterious forces in our lives. It can feel frustrating, even cruel, when the people or opportunities we want aren't available when we are ready. We often think if something doesn't happen right away, it's not meant to be. But in reality, the universe has a way of aligning things not when we demand it, but when we are truly prepared to receive it. When the universe wants you to be with someone, timing begins to flow almost effortlessly. What once felt forced or full of obstacles begins to open up. Without having to manipulate, beg, or exhaust yourself, the circumstances start to shift naturally in your favor. In relationships, timing is not just about calendars and clocks. It's about emotional readiness. Sometimes two people meet at the wrong time. Maybe one is healing, or both are still growing into the people they are meant to be. When you are both aligned in your journeys, when you have done the work individually, the meeting feels profoundly different. There is less fear and more clarity. You're not clinging to each other out of loneliness. You're connecting from a place of wholeness. That shift is subtle but powerful. You might notice that the logistics of life begin to cooperate too. Maybe before, distance, work, or obligations kept you apart. Now, opportunities arise that make it easier to bridge the gap. Maybe you find yourself living in the same city unexpectedly, or a work project brings you together. These things don't feel orchestrated, they feel organic. They feel like a rhythm you can trust, instead of a puzzle you are constantly trying to force together. When timing is right, your internal state also changes. Instead of feeling rushed or panicked, there is a sense of patience and groundedness. You are no longer trying to make it happen. You are allowing it to unfold. There is wisdom in waiting, but there is also wisdom in knowing when to move forward. When timing aligns, it feels like both of you are stepping into the connection with open hearts, not dragging the past behind you. This doesn't mean everything will be perfect or without challenges. It means that even when difficulties arise, the commitment to work through them is mutual. You're not fighting against each other or against the circumstances. You're walking alongside each other, facing things together. Timing brings a level of emotional maturity that changes the way you navigate struggles. Instead of reacting with fear or blame, you respond with curiosity and compassion. One of the clearest signs of aligned timing is a sense of emotional availability. You are both present. You are both willing. You are both willing to be seen and to see each other fully. In the past, one or both of you might have been guarded or distracted. Now, there is a willingness to prioritize the connection, to nurture it with care and attention. Timing transforms love from a possibility into a reality that both people are ready to embrace. In the end, timing is not just about external circumstances lining up. It's about inner readiness and mutual courage to step into a connection that feels right, not rushed. It is a reminder that the universe often prepares us long before it rewards us. The first sign that the universe may be guiding you towards someone is a deep sense of calm that naturally emerges when you're in their presence. This isn't about excitement or butterflies, it's a quiet peace that settles within you. You don't feel the need to pretend or hold back. Being with them feels like you're in a space where you can exhale completely, where your true self is welcome and safe. It's the feeling of being grounded, as though time slows down, and for once, there's no rush to be anything other than what you are. This sense of ease is the first gentle clue that this connection is more than just fleeting. It's foundational. The second sign is the frequent appearance of coincidences or synchronicities. It's like the universe is drawing your attention toward them in ways that go beyond random chance. You might find yourself running into them at the most unexpected times, hearing their name mentioned by people who don't know your connection, or stumbling upon signs that remind you of them, things that feel too deliberate to be mere accidents. These little occurrences act as breadcrumbs leading you towards something significant. The universe isn't screaming at you, but rather gently nudging you toward recognizing that this relationship is something worth exploring. Third, there's a noticeable shift in both of you, one that reflects mutual growth. It's not just about how you feel, but about how you change when you're with them. You may notice that you've become more patient, more understanding, or more confident in who you are. Your goals and dreams seem to expand in ways they hadn't before, and so do theirs. You bring out the best in each other, encouraging personal development and growth that feels organic, not forced. It's not about completing one another, but rather evolving together in a way that makes both of you better versions of yourselves. The fourth sign is a change in how you communicate. With them, you no longer feel the need to censor your thoughts or emotions. Conversations flow naturally, and there's an unspoken understanding that you can speak with honesty and vulnerability. You feel heard and seen, and in turn, you extend the same level of respect and empathy. There's no fear of judgment or rejection, even when you reveal the more raw, unrefined parts of yourself. You can be authentic and still feel loved and accepted, which is a rare and powerful form of connection. Fifth, you might experience a quiet but undeniable inner knowing, a sense of certainty that this relationship holds real potential. It's not something you need to explain or justify to anyone. It's simply a deep, intuitive sense that something important is unfolding. This feeling doesn't come with drama or urgency, but with a peaceful assurance that this is a connection worth paying attention to. It's as if your inner self recognizes them in ways your mind can't yet fully articulate. The sixth sign is a lightness that accompanies your time together. While life may still bring challenges, there's an uplifting quality in your relationship. Even when things are tough, there's an inherent optimism and hope that your partnership can navigate the difficulties together. The weight of your struggles doesn't feel as heavy when shared with someone who cares. Their presence lightens the load, providing a sense of balance and stability in the midst of chaos. Seventh, you realize that your values and vision for life align in ways that feel natural and effortless. Your dreams and aspirations don't feel like separate journeys, they seem to merge into a shared path. The way you view the world, the things that are most important to you, and your vision for the future all resonate with them in a way that deepens your connection. There's no need to compromise who you are or what you want. Instead, you find a harmonious rhythm in which your paths align and complement each other. The eighth sign is emotional safety and trust. In their presence, you can truly be yourself, not the filtered version of yourself that you present to the world, but the real you, flaws and all. There's no fear of being judged or misunderstood. Instead, you're met with empathy, patience, and understanding. You know that whatever you share, it will be received with kindness and respect. This emotional safety creates a space for vulnerability, and vulnerability is the key to deep connection. Ninth, the timing finally feels right. Despite past setbacks or delays, the circumstances around your relationship begin to align in a way that makes sense. Things that once felt out of reach or misaligned now start to click. The doors you once struggled to open seem to swing wide, and the flow of life feels smoother. It's not about everything being perfect, but about a sense of effortless movement, as though the universe is guiding you both toward each other at exactly the right time. The 10th and final sign is mutual respect and empathy. This connection is not based on what either of you can get from the other, but on a shared commitment to each other's well-being. There's a profound respect for one another's individuality, and you both genuinely care about the other's happiness and growth. Your relationship is built on a foundation of mutual admiration, where love is not just about romance, but about seeing and supporting each other as full, whole individuals. This empathy and respect are the anchors that will sustain the connection through both easy and challenging times. As we reflect on the 10 signs that the universe may be guiding you toward someone, it becomes clear that love, in its truest form, is not about chance or fleeting attraction. It's about alignment, trust, and the quiet but powerful force that draws two people together. The universe speaks to us in ways we might not always understand, but when we pause and listen, we begin to recognize the signs, the calm, the growth, the synchronicities that tell us this connection is meant to be. These signs remind us that love is not about perfection, but about mutual respect, emotional safety, and a shared journey toward becoming our best selves. It's in the way we communicate, how we grow together, and the deep knowing that we're exactly where we're meant to be. So, as you move forward, trust that the universe will continue to guide you, and keep your heart open to the signs that show up, not with noise or urgency, but with quiet, steady certainty. The universe doesn't rush. It simply leads you to the people and experiences that will help you grow, love, and ultimately become the best version of yourself.